Welcome everybody, it's Evelyn. I have some amazing messages, so much stuff came through. Take a deep breath. Sending you all lots of love and blessings. Hope you're all doing well. Boy, did a lot happen between last night and this morning. A lot of stuff came through. I'm going to show you the picture of the read first. It is a twin flame read. We got the lovers there in the middle of the read there. You'd like to see that. It is the SIRIAN STARSEED deck, the main deck for the read in my 7-deck read. This is the full read in front of you. So if you want to take a shot of that and follow it, you can. And I'm going to start out with, I did the read last night for today. And last night a couple things. I was watching Laura Eisenhower with Kevin Estrella. He's had a lot of contact with the Pontes, the Zetas, and so I was just watching that. And then I did a little work on that to get, I went to the First Contact website to get some more ideas of how to better connect when we're in meditation, that kind of thing. You can always use other perspectives to give you some kind of added lesson there. So one of the things that came up in their talk was goo. He talked about after him being healed by one of the ETs, having drainage out of his left ear, which they called black goo. And we were just talking about goo for the past 2 days, so it was really funny that it came up. And also Chris Macklin, who does healing, who's amazing. If you want to check him out, Chris Macklin, he's on YouTube. He also talks about when he heals, he uses healing like esoteric or etheric goo. So goo, the word goo has been used a lot this week. And also, Om Namah Shivaya came up, and I did that chant last night when I did my meditation, and it was very, very good connection chant. So you might want to check that out. And it was really funny because as I always look up the information about the words. I break them down to see a new perspective on what the meaning is of that word. And my guides are so funny, I have to tell you. So when I did the breakdown of Om Namah Shivaya, it literally comes out. I mean, the traditional meaning is, the universal consciousness is one, adoration to the Lord Shiva, salutations to the auspicious one. So, it's a Hindu chant or mantra. But when I looked up all the meanings of the parts of the words, the literal meaning I got was so funny. It's disengage from breast milk and take a stab at going to the bathroom, right? Which is what a baby does to separate from its mother. So it's very cool because that's what a human does, and to separate itself from God, because it has to be human. So it was very cool. I love that definition. Disengage from breast milk and take a stab at going to the bathroom. It was just so perfect. So then this morning, after doing that mantra last night and working on how to connect with the ETs, I woke up crying this morning, which I haven't woken up crying in forever. I mean, I've cried a lot, but I haven't woken up from a dream crying. And it was very significant, and I definitely remembered why I was crying in the dream. So I'm going to tell you about that because there's definitely a wound there coming up. And also, by the way, happy Friday the 13th. According to Magenta Pixie, this is the end of the dark spell work, because this traditionally, Friday the 13th is a traditional day for dark spell work to be done. And it's supposed to mark the end of the dark spells in the etheric realm, something to do with the Draco forces ending in the etheric realms. So you might want to check out Magenta Pixie's video if you haven't seen that already. But it is Friday the 13th. And I always loved Friday the 13th. You know, 13 never bothered me in that way. I always felt like it was a transition number, not like something bad. And today is the 13th, so we've got 13 of that death and transition energy, as well as the 28, which the date adds up to. 28 is the Two of Wands, or the twin flames, that choice of path, that co-creation, you know, perpetually choosing a new path. So I woke up at 7:21 this morning, and my clock I still haven't corrected it since I came back from my trip, and my clock was on 10:10, which is the Wheel of Fortune, you know, 2 10s turn for the better, and then 7:21, which is Chariot, and the 21 is the world, the completion of the ascension cycle. With 7, the Chariot's the ascension vehicle. So I woke up crying from this dream, and in my dream, I worked at University of Penn Hospital for 25 years, and the dream took place around the impoverished areas around Penn. And I came upon a boy who was hurting himself, you know, like cutting or doing something destructive to himself physically, from a poor neighborhood, which is not far from Penn. And in order to get to this boy, I had to jump from a building. You know, it's a dream. I had to jump from a building in order to catch up to him and take him to Penn for someone to care for him. I didn't recognize the back entrance because it didn't look the same way I would know it as. And so I didn't recognize that back entrance that I had found. So I was a bit anxious about entering there with a boy, you know, with a child. I went in, and a man that was too eager to help me because I was a female, right? So he was giving me too much female attention. He escorted me right through a performance going on. It wasn't up on a stage. It was like a roomed off performance that was happening. But instead of walking me and the boy around the performance or quietly sneaking around the crowd, he literally paraded me right through the middle of the performance, which of course is going to make someone anxious. So instead of quietly going around, he took me right through the middle of the stage. We had to go through a door in the back of the floor level stage. You know, it seemed like a walled off room, not like a traditional stage. And I finally got the boy to the right department after making him promise me he'd never do that again to himself because he deserves better. And he promised me. So where I dropped him, there were nurses and techs that I knew from when I worked there. And I think it was 1 tech and 2 nurses that I used to work with. And they were all really nice people that I got along with, but one that was really sweet normally looked at me like I was really inappropriate, like I had left. I remembered when I got there that I left my purse somewhere, and now I was really worried because I had a lot of stuff in my purse. I was worried about going back and finding it. And then I was admiring someone's earrings or something like that in the dream, and the nurse that I always had good feelings about, who was usually really sweet as far as I knew them, turned on me in the dream, shaming me for being joyful or unprofessional, quote unquote, in front of the boy who wasn't bothered at all by what I was saying. And now I was upset about the purse and someone really sweet who now thinks badly of me. So I woke up crying, defending myself to myself because I had already left the situation, wanting to go back and tell her, I am that little boy that you're defending. How could you think I could treat him badly? Or why would you think I wouldn't treat him well? You know, then defending myself that I had been abused growing up, and I'd been humiliated growing up, and now she was abusing me again for just being me. So it brought up all the times, and this wasn't really about my mother, which my mother was abusive, but she was also very loving at the same time. You know, she was half and half. She was half a wonderful, loving pillar of the community, and half the other time, you know, I was terrified of her my whole childhood, and, you know, she looked at me with such hate a lot of the time when she was angry. But it wasn't even about the wounding with my mother. It was about my wounding at my job, because I wasn't a nurse, I wasn't a tech. I managed research at Penn, but a lot of the times people treated me like a tech or a nurse, like I had had training that I hadn't had. So there were so many times where doctors had sent me to go do something that I didn't know what I was doing. So, people would look at me like I was doing something inappropriate or wrong when I didn't know because I hadn't been trained to do something. So there was a lot of that fear of being humiliated, of not knowing the protocol, because other people assumed that I should know. So there was a big wound there, which, I wouldn't normally think of. So think about that for you in your situation, in your life, to see what might come up. After I woke up, I turned my sand art over to see if it would turn, first of all, because the bubbles are too big now, so the sand doesn't usually drop, it just usually stops short. But I did get it to drop a little bit, and the images that were coming up first was like a bat with its wings fully spread out. And then, though, it turned into, and I don't know if it was a bat for sure, but it was that kind of energy of a bat, more of like a dark bird. It wasn't like a regular bird in flight. And then what looked like a seal versus a porcupine. And it wasn't like they were being aggressive with each other. They were being loving with each other. But it was like, a pairing of a seal and a porcupine. But it really ended up being more like a sea lion as opposed to a seal. And then it took me to some videos about a lion versus a porcupine, which if you haven't ever seen lions trying to attack a porcupine, you have to check out the videos. They're really funny because the lions are so perplexed, they don't know how to get to the porcupine without getting stabbed. It's really, really funny. So check that out. So after, looking up the sea lions and the seals versus the porcupine, because that's what it looked like in the sand art, I came across a manticore. It also comes from the word mantichora or martichora or chorus, martichorus. But it ultimately is supposed to mean man-eater, and it was about a figure that was the face of a human but a body of a lion mixed with a tail that was porcupine but with a scorpion stinger at the end of it. And it devours its prey whole. And it had triple rows of teeth, both upper teeth and lower teeth. And this is just from Wikipedia, as I was looking this up. So it was first brought up, this creature, from Ctesias, so Theseus, a Greek physician at the Persian court in 4th century BC. And in his book, Indica, or India, which that book only survives in fragments among the Greek writers, he talked about this creature that he said he had seen with blue-gray eyes, and they described it as red like the color cinnabar, which comes up referencing alchemy, and also looking like a shaggy dog, like it had human ears, but they were hairy. But it was like a lion's body with a human man's face. And they described it as a creature that would never attack an elephant, and a lion alone cannot be brought down by it. And the sound sounded like a trumpet. It was also called androphagus by Greeks. It had the quills in its tail was shoot out sideways, and they said if it landed in the ground, it could produce more, like a crop of it. So talking about detaching or disengaging from breast milk and going to the bathroom, I then had to go to the bathroom. So in doing my practicing of connecting better last night, they remind you to, be aware of everything in your environment, find the messages and everything. So of course I looked in the toilet to see the shape of my poop, and it was in the shape of an M or an E with a little accent at the crease in the M or the E. So then when I came back from the sea lions and the porcupine, the manatees was coming up, which is so funny because my old next door neighbors, his band was called Manatees. So I was like, that's what they're trying to get me to, which they describe manatees as sea cows. They're huge. There's 3 different kinds, and they're thought to be related to elephants, not sea animals. They're 880 to 1,210 pounds, and this is the average, and the average is, I love the numbers, right? 880 is 88, so it's the twins dancing within their masculine and feminine, and the 0 behind them. to 12 10 pounds, which is the hangman of wisdom, and the 10 of the turn for the better of the wheel of fortune. And then the length of the average manatee is 2.8, or the twin flames, to 3.0, which is the union energy of 30. And they can be up to 4.6 meters long, and 46 is the children in the garden, the two children loving each other. So, and they only have 6 cervical vertebrae, as opposed to most that have 7, the cervical vertebrae, except for they said the two-toed and the three-toed sloths don't have 7. So the family that the manatees come from, the other cousin in that family is the dugongs. The family is called Sirenians, which is very close to Sirius. So Sirenians. And they date back to the early Eocene and have very many similar traits to dolphins, both, so all in that family do. But they can't survive waters colder than 60 degrees. They really need waters that are warmer than that. So when I broke down the manatee to see the message that they wanted me to get, I broke it down in different ways because there's different names for this creature. It's Manticore or Marticora or Koras with an S on the end. And so there were lots of meanings here, but the first meaning that I got when I got to the end of all these definitions was preaching to the choir. That's preaching to someone who's already on your side. You're wasting your time. I'm already on your side. You don't have to tell me that. So what also was coming up with preaching to the choir was very interesting, because it was, some of the definitions were coming up about the daughter-in-law. To maintain your heart. Toilet paper was coming up here, the roll within and the toilet paper on the roll. And here we're talking about bathroom stuff. To maintain and keep a shift underground, right? Keep it on the down low, or literally going underground, which we're dealing with tunnels and the children here. I forgot. I couldn't remember if anything came through when I did the meditation last night to try to connect with the ETs. And I did. I was actually connecting with the children. I was kind of scared because they started showing me how the children were being tortured in the tunnels. And then I got past the fear, and I said it's okay if they want to show me. So they were showing me some of the stuff that was being done to the children, so I would understand. Which, of course, isn't fun to see, but I was proud of myself for being able to maintain and allow them to show me. So more of this information here about the Manticore was also coming up. The blanket, like a covering, the blanket to the electromagnetic that channels the magnetic field, which is what we do, right? We're trying to connect to the other side. But the blanket is like the veil. And so here we're talking about, we're not talking about the manatee here. This is the lion human creature with the scorpion porcupine tail, preaching to the choir. So we'll get to the manatee in a minute. But this creature is not such an evil preacher, because they made it, the meaning of it is supposed to be man-eater. And who's a man-eater, right? A woman, right? There's women who are scorned is a man-eater. Someone preaching to the choir. Someone who wants to own their heart or control them, or to maintain or keep their shift underground, like, keep them to themselves. To blanket the electromagnetic that channels the magnetic field, or to cover the crown, to not allow them to connect outside themselves. The daughter-in-law's, literally the meanings were coming up here, is the daughter-in-law's vagina, or her daughter, the vulva, the choir, the essence, the thief, the one who gives lip service, or the charlatan, and it was coming up as the daughter-in-law. So that might reference here in the twin flame situation. It was coming up like the wife complaining about her husband to the husband's mother. So basically the masculine's wife or partner complaining about him to his mother. And this is coming up about the person preaching to the choir, or there's someone who's trying to manipulate him, right, and control him or own him. It was also coming up as to shelve one's heart or core, or put someone's heart aside, or to own them. The man-eater, the wet blanket at heart, the wet blanket at the core, to keep also the pupils or the eyes, the pupil of the eye open, which you get too much sunlight if the pupil's open too much. Because the pupil's the opening, it's not the shutter. The pupil, it's like forcing someone to see the light, to force more light than they can handle. So that was a message, not only for the masculine, but also that the feminine can't force him to open his eyes to the light. It has to come in his own time. So there was a big message there, and that had to do with the creature, who's not really a man-eater at all. It's the animal that's preaching to the choir, because he's already a man. He's got a man's face with a lion's body and a stinger tail, with Porcupine. So he's already on the human side. He's got a human face. So it's an energy that's preaching to the choir. It was very interesting the way that came up. And then the manatee came up as, it means a sea cow, basically. You know what a manatee looks like. It's huge. It's like a huge seal. And that meaning came up, was very beautiful, actually. And when I broke down the double E also means I don't know what it's called, the symbol where it's the letter A that looks just like the E but upside down. So the letter A and then the E back to back, where they're mushed together. They're not actually separate letters. I don't know what that symbol is called, so somebody knows. If you could put that in the comment, I'd appreciate it. But when you put that A and E together, and that's come up before for Adam and Eve for me, and I put that on one of my icons for my videos. So A and E is Adam and Eve. That's also arts and entertainment, which I'd written on that icon that I did. But that A and E is also the number 8 with the sine wave running through it. So it's literally Adam and Eve wrapped up in a bow with the sine wave flow, and it looks like a pinwheel. And that was coming up from the EE of manatee. So the manatee came up as the magical path, or the finial, the antenna, the magical path. And remember, your hair is an antenna as well. The path, finial, or performance, or execution, just like Jesus on the cross. The umbrella, or even poop, came up. A lot about pooping, because it's important. That's transmuting through your body. The Russian gold coin, or the bundle, or dowry. The magical exchange for excess, law, rule, and bond of marriage. To say yes, to eat, to consume and feed. The one, the 9, which is the one and the all. The water, the flow, all for one and one for all, going with the flow. It's also the currency of Adam and Eve. 30 pieces of silver. Only 2, or only second to self, and third to none. One for all, and all for one. That AE pinwheel comes up as pi of Christ, with a personal ID number of 8, and the sine wave flow, gliding or dancing across the floor. And this was so cool, because now this energy came up. I just watched The Green Mile, and one of the last things he asked for in The Green Mile was to watch a flicker show. And it was I'm in Heaven. Isn't that Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers? I'm not sure. But the song I'm in Heaven was on, and they were dancing across the floor. So this was literally coming up as I'm in Heaven and The Green Mile. So, and Spirit's connecting with me. It was such a beautiful message. Okay, so now we're going to get into the read. This was done last night for today. It's not a real long one. And my tetragrammaton came up again too, that I had shown you, that I came up with, which was a pi, then the Y in the road, then another pi, and then the phi, which is pi with the line extended outside the lines with a Y on top, like the little y at the end. So it's pi, Y, pi, and then phi with a little y on top of the line of the phi. So that was coming up again too. And you notice that pi, Y, pi is the two eyes and the nose and the eyebrows, outlining where the third eye is. And then the phi is a little person. It's like a child. So let's see. The read in front of you, I cut the SIRIAN Starseed deck at 538, which is the 5 of the Hierophant and the 38 of the Queen of Cups. And at 551, which is again the Hierophant, and then 51 for the King of Swords, as I was clarifying, the words get covered, F chalices was coming up, and F for me is not the F word, it's phi. And that can reference the F word, right? Because that has to do with expanding outside yourself. When you orgasm, you are expanding in that realm outside yourself. So it has the same type of meaning, but not in the vulgar way. So F chalices, and then CES also came up, says, I didn't really feel into the CES, so if anything comes up for you around the CES, you can put it below. But it has to do with multiple things, not just one thing, in French anyway. So expand chalices, which has to do with feelings, heart, and emotions of all, not just one thing, not his or hers, but everyone's. Expand your feelings through everyone's feelings and emotions. So I finished clarifying at 6:05 last night, 6 being the Lovers, 5 being the Hierophant again, and 5 being that expansion and change, because 5 does represent that expansion and change, but F happens to be 6 of the Lovers, which has to do with expansion and change through sex. Which is why they just had me bring it up as F being the F word and also the phi of expansion, because it's the Lovers, because it's the 5 of expansion, plus the Lovers, and then the orgasmic experience connecting you to the etheric realms. So we have the 6 and the 5 here, and then the major arcana here were the Lovers, Justice, Transition, and Reflection. Transition is the Death card, Reflection is the Hermit. Before the read, we had the Tower, because I always pull a few cards on either end of the read. That's the Tower. And after the read, Reason came up, which is the Emperor card. There were 2 Pentacles, 2 Wands, 2 Cups, and 1 Sword, so it was perfectly balanced there. And the Page of Wands was the only court card in the read. Page of Wands has to do with that very inspired, childlike energy, being excited about something. It's just like my tetragrammaton with the little Y jumping up at the end in excitement. And then the Knight of Cups came up after the read. The code line and the numbers today were 555, so again, very much expanding. That's all about change. And then physical activity, which has to do with sex. And I'm just getting, you want to talk about sex. So that's coming up. And then 33 comes up, which is the Christ vibration, the 7 of Wands. 22 came up, which is the Fool, that open heart, taking a leap of faith. We also had, on the code line for physical activity, and the message was 24, which is the end of karma on a community level, but it's also the Queen of Wands, who's that very sexy energy, right? The very popular star. And then we had 2221, which is the Fool again with 3 2s. Oh, by the way, my mail hit 22222 yesterday. I try to clear it and it comes back so fast. Anyway, it was, 5 2s, which is, very synchronistic. And then here we had 2221. That's 22 of the Fool and 21 of the World, right? So going from the end of the cycle into the open heart and leap of faith into the new cycle. The 33 of the Christ vibration, the 555s of the change, the 22 of the Fool again, the sequence of numbers 2, 3, 4, 5, which has to do with the 3D, 4D, 5D, but also it's saying the 2, 3, 4, 5 because we're ending the very dark energies here on Friday the 13th. The 8 of the dance of the masculine and feminine, and also the inner strength, the 35 of the 8 of Wands, that, the arrows of love, the expression of feelings and desires, and that very quick paced back and forth energy. The 58 of the, so that's the energy exchange. The 58 of the actual connection, the 4 of Swords in 5D. The 23 of the King of Wands, the 56 of the 2 of Swords, being in your knowing. The 68 of the Page of Pentacles, right? The curious child, learning, wanting to learn. And then the 810, which is 81, the end of karma around the world, with 0 or source energy backing it up. So the code line around physical activity was all about the challenge today of that page of wands that was upright in the read, but this page of wands is masked with a burning desire, right? He's not showing his face. And he's got a penis that's on fire. And here we are talking about sex again. So the challenge in the read is the page of wands with a mask on, with someone idolizing him. And then the block, this isn't just for the masculine though, it's for the twin flames. It's both the masculine and the feminine. And the block for the twin flames is the 3 of swords today, which is, the heartbreak and separation, and it's upright today. It can also reference some kind of surgery or something that got rained out. So when it rains, that card also comes up. So, and it is a kind of rainy day out today. It's kind of dark out there, which you can probably see. So the message around physical activity here obviously is coming up sex over and over again. But also the challenge of the young energy of the page of wands, who's an excitable boy, but it's an immature energy. It's the page of wands, an immature person sexually perhaps, or the block of separation and heartbreak that's preventing them from expressing their true desires. So expanding through the 24, which is the Omega, right, the end of the Greek alphabet, and the Queen of Wands, the divine co-creation and completion, taking that exam to complete the cycle, to say poetry perhaps, or perhaps, something, a promise in blood, right, to say poetry to someone, to use the word thy. Also the word pig and breast came up here. So again, the breast and the mother's milk, detaching from the mother's milk. And this could be someone needing to detach from their mother's apron strings. It could be mama's boy. The page of wands and toggling left to the feminine in that high vibration trill. And in that touchstone energy. And touch tone, right? The tone of music, the tone of the music of the spheres, the tone of the masculine connecting with the etheric realms more into his feminine and his higher self, which is his divine feminine. So the phi energy of expanding and contracting, breathing in, breathing out. 2, for divine co-creation, to say poetry, to complete their exam. The page of wands inspired to the nth degree to that high vibration of PE, or physical education. And it was funny because my son was at the gym at the time I was writing this, which is working out as well. The expansion and contraction of the high priestess and the emperor in division to the nth degree, or divine co-creation, inspired to the nth degree with that high vibration trill, that touchstone or touch tone in physical activity, which has to do with making love. It's not just sex, but love. The divine masculine, the divine feminine. The divine masculine expands, the divine feminine contracts. The Queen of Wands, division or divvies up. The Page of Wands, drama or theater, toggling left and phoning home, like in E.T. Touch tone, touchstone, phone home, right? Because you are each other's home. So the 2 of Pentacles reversed comes up as the first card underlying for the read. Okay, the underlying energy, then the mini deck on top. And I usually go 3 or 4 cards down. So the 4th card down was the 5 of Pentacles upright, then the Tower reversed, then the 5 of Swords upright, and then the 6 of Swords reversed. So tripped up, dropped the ball, or dropped the act or facade, and breaking patterns, perhaps after exile from the Tower of destruction and having no peace. And again, this is for both the divine masculine and divine feminine, all right, in both of you. And so if it doesn't resonate with you, don't force it to fit. There's a lot of energy here and a lot of different people out there. It's not always going to fit your situation perfectly. But there's always a message for you, there may be an individual message for someone and a lot of group messages as well. So if you should like a more personal read, you can always connect with me. All of my information is below, or you can go to my website at twinflames3344.com. So left out in the cold after a sudden event, At war, without a peaceful place to go, no longer juggling or now breaking patterns. At war, defenseless to the energies and or attacks, perhaps feeling ganged up on. The star, which, I woke up crying because I was feeling ganged up on. So that's definitely a wound that's coming up here, but also has to do with no man left behind, which came up this week as well. So at war, defenseless to the energies and or attacks, the star, the healer, the dreamer, or an Aquarius, awakened, or with big ego, or Capricorn reversed, dumping multiple loads and or emotional attachments on the King of Swords upright in his truth, starting over in love, or at least no longer bored. The King of Swords standing adamantly in his truth, whether others like it or not, no longer bored or caring what others think or do. Reaping rewards of awakening to an offer of time, money, and effort, and or a new life from the star, the healer, the dreamer, or the dream girl, or Aquarius, Page of Swords, speaking or spreading the word or stepping up to the plate, perhaps over their grief, loss, and regret, and the Queen of Cups reversed and the King of Wands reversed, trying to find peace, but it may be eluding them. No peace found in removing the mask. No more shin splints or corsets or money clip slippers with little lizard eyeing your stuff, while on your platform, no more. The boat is out of the water, and the King of Wands reversed and the Queen of Cups reversed may be sad about that. No more free fabric or material, or need a new boat cover. Hanging up the oar, no more chauffeur, or no more chauffeuring the hermit. The King of Wands reversed, feeling a failure. What did I say? The sixth is not the King of Wands, it's the Six of Wands reversed, is about feeling like a failure, perhaps an attention hog, or under the radar coming clean, or cleaning up their act or space, with the Queen of Swords reversed and the Emperor reversed, no more being above the law, or sneaky little shit. Or the Emperor reversed and the Queen of Swords reversed is closing up a fabric shop or mill, or were robbed by a sneaky shit upstairs who got away with it. And then it says to release your ex at 646, which is the lovers, and the Six of Cups, or the children in the garden, the two inner child energies really loving each other. So release your ex comes up as the energy in the underlying cards, and beneath that was let go of control issues. And it's funny because as I'm talking about it, I just noticed they're like all over the place here. All right, so they were like that. Okay. So release your ex, and then beneath that was let go of the control issues. So let go of the control issues first, and then release your ex, which that's the control issues, because it sounds like it's not necessarily someone you're having fun with, but it's just a matter of controlling someone or owning them. So inspired to romance at 646 with the lovers and the Six of Cups, the children. Inspired to romance, soulmates, or being nostalgic about suffering in silence in the past, with third party through work or issues and struggles at work along the way, or at night up the mountains where lobster found their pearl. Alcohol and reflection, or doing spells under the Friday the 13th moon. Dungeons and Dragons and family shield and sword and sex room, or nightmares of torture and issues at work, or no more big love by the logs before trip to the mountains. Black cat in the way or underfoot, and no more long toenails scratching your skin, or bitter herbs. Perseverance comes up here as number 4, which is the Emperor again, and beneath that is happy ending, 93, which is the reflection of the Knight of Cups, right? And that's being love. So being love is reflecting a happy ending. Cards are put out on the table here in a fight or competition, with the Queen of Swords reversed and the Page of Swords upright, so mother and child could be at each other's throats. Reignited a torch with the Hermit without sleep or rising above and coming out. Leapfrog activations, standing on the edge of levitation, or deadly afraid of heights, an old man with light or losing his sight, and the crowd is not pleased with his eggplant tights or hose, or cardiac arrest is like knives in his heart, or it's just an anxiety attack. Like in the Green Mile, all the haters at his execution are like knives in his heart, but he rose above it. And there's Virgo here, the hermit, which very much, John Coffey was very much a hermit. Cancer upright and Aries reversed here. It's the misunderstood man, the gentle giant. Rising above and breaking patterns in need of peace, with the Emperor reversed at night, or about Cancer and perseverance, which is number 4, again, the Emperor. In the recent past is Justice upright at 7:05, which is the Chariot and the Hierophant. The Justice can represent divorce, or just getting, that everything is fair. It's just. That can be all is fair in love and war, could be coming up here as well. But also it's Libra energy, an energetic exchange with heartbreak and or separation, or perhaps surgery, or something got rained out. Dissatisfied Empress with their world upside down. Page of Wands upright and Page of Pentacles reversed, perhaps in a split or divided by lies and BS, or a need for truth and clarity of the Hermit reversed, going crazy, exposing all about justice, divorce, and or Libra. There could be Libra upright, Taurus upright here, Virgo reversed, Pisces reversed, and Leo upright, and or a Libra to Libra energetic exchange exposed to unhappiness, to or of the Empress upright, the Page of Wands upright, and the Page of Pentacles reversed, which can be a mother or grandmother and their 2 kids. Or Taurus upright, Virgo reversed, and Pisces reversed here. The foundation here at the root of the matter is the 8 of Cups reversed, very uncomfortable energies, impatient dependent, or fallen angel perhaps looking back, or Sagittarius reversed with crazy spending habits and giving away money in the downturn and getting over it. Not sleeping or waking with loss of power, money, and independence, and rising above an offer of time, money, and effort, new life, or perhaps a loan or someone offering to pay you back, or having made a big purchase. The central energy at the heart of the matter is the Lovers upright, in need of help, the wounded warrior or victim with the 10 of Pentacles, family, business, or community, spreading the word or advertising because you need to drum up business. The Magician manifesting big time, he's upright, but the challenge is the Page of Wands with the mask and the burning desire, and the female worshiper begging to put it out. Under the radar, defenseless to attacks, energies, and or being ganged up on, or feeling that way, at 7:19, which is the Chariot and the Sun, the exposure, dumping a load, a burden, responsibilities, confessing without peace, in choosing a new path, in pursuit of happiness. I was just getting Trivial Pursuit. So maybe someone's always felt like happiness was trivial, but it's not. It's imperative. Holding on to third party or bad influence, uncomfortable to be around, or guarding savings from those nefarious influences, exposing all, or kids or Leo happy, or sunshine and vacation, or time away, and the wounded warrior guarding the family, business, or community treasure from the Page of Wands upright, the Page of Pentacles reversed, and the Page of Swords upright. So there's 3 childlike energies here. Or, one or all 3 can be messages as well. But the Page of Pentacles is reversed. The High Priestess reversed without the keys. This can be a dark priestess as well. It can be more like can be a dark magic energy, which, today's the ending of that. So the High Priestess reversed, or the Dark Priestess without the keys, and this could be someone pretending to have abilities but they don't, or secret passion exposed, the 10 of Pentacles fantasy mirror of the wounded warrior guarding the family treasure for the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles upright, which can be grown children, or perhaps 2 women. It could be sisters, people at work, your partner and your divine feminine, but worried the third party may steal from them. There may be a lack of trust here. And the Ace of Pentacles, performance of a lifetime, no longer patient at cross purposes with foolish behavior, or a hit and run and got scared or choked, needing to swallow their pride, overwhelmed, dumped, purging, dumped a load, or sweating it out. Pisces reversed, Sag reversed, Aries reversed, and Aquarius reversed, all here. Now, with transition reversed, the Page of Cups is in a near-death experience, or dark night, or just dead tired in a never-ending story, or Pisces upright and Scorpio reversed, with the King of Cups upright falling short as a player, or with Sagittarius reversed child getting into trouble. Out in the cold or homeless in jail, or with anxiety issues, with the world upside down, or the divine feminine in another world, the 5D, wide awake and coming out, the King of Cups upright and the Page of Cups upright, perhaps with Sagittarius reversed, Scorpio reversed, and Pisces reversed, or the King of Cups loving philanderer and the Page of Cups is a clingy child like him, both with a dark or addictive side. So they're coming up as really beautiful and loving, but they both may have a dark side and it's coming up like father, like child. The King of Cups, and this can be the masculine and his father, or it can be the masculine and one of his children. So the King of Cups, Scorpio reversed, dumped their soulmate, Cancer, Queen of Cups reversed, now sharing with those in exile, in the cold or homeless. The Hermit reversed coming out about secret lovers to the Page of Pentacles reversed, or to lover about a need for help. Or the King of Cups, Scorpio, and the Page of Cups, Pisces, and the Queen of Cups reversed is Cancer or Virgo, and the Page of Pentacles reversed is left out, no longer hurting themselves, to be perfect, and that's very much like the little boy in my dream. No longer to be told what to do after sudden jealous rage, about ending fantasy and starting over in love, avoiding disasters, dumping emotional attachments, and the Magician manifesting big time now with secret passion in a split or divide with the King of Wands reversed who choked, and that's his loss. Treasurer guarded to the Queen of Wands shopping habits, and the Queen of Pentacles giving money away for free, and Sagittarius reversed, Scorpio reversed at odds with the Aries reversed and Aquarius reversed, constantly crying or whining, or lack of love and affection. Soon here for the twins is the Five of Wands expansion of the Queen of Wands at night, with Libra, King of Pentacles, or with Cancer between them. The King of Pentacles moving or visiting, or maybe visiting a nightmare of the Hermit reversed, like, to King of Pentacles could be moving or going to visit someone he deems as being in this nightmare, the Hermit reversed, and that could be the Divine Feminine, losing their mind or over-isolating with the Knight of Pentacles reversed and Knight of Swords upright, Virgo stuck, and King of Pentacles Libra defending their honor, or the Knight of Swords upright and the Knight of Pentacles reversed are the ones who caused their suffering and separation. So that can reference children or co-workers or family members or friends. At 752, which is the Chariot and the Queen of Swords. And actually 52 is written that way, 52-7. So it's very much about the Queen of Swords there. The twin flames are seeing themselves as the Hermit reversed, no longer reflecting or done doing their shadow work. At 753 now, which is the Knight of Swords, the Knight of Cups is reversed with issues at work with hostage or third-party prison. And the Knight of Cups can be moody or jealous, or just can be feeling rejected, but also can be that insincere, schmoozer who kisses everyone's butt to get their way, but they're insincere. So it can be someone who's jealous or in disconnect or at a distance from their lover. It can just be someone who's sad and moody, The Queen of Pentacles is strong with the Knight of Pentacles reversed out of work, or keeping them calm about their anxieties about this. The twin flame lovers, the Queen of Pentacles is upright over jealousy or over an insincere person, being strong with work issues or being seen as a third party. It's like rising above that. And the Knight of Pentacles reversed being stubborn with anxiety or still and over being a prisoner of work. Forgiving and learning comes up here, and getting to know each other, and true love. This is a romance of a lifetime. Around them is the Four of Pentacles, the Divine Masculine's heart in the bat cave, and the bat wings spread came up in my sand art this morning. Receiving passion from divorcee perhaps, or after a divorce, or spirituality and a break from religion, establishment, or Taurus, or break away from tradition or conservative views. The Knight of Swords, messenger of truth, hit and run, as Aries reversed and Taurus reversed takes a fall, or Aries reversed offers the truth and Taurus reversed offers passion and creativity and growth, or the divine masculine is hiding out from those who want to get him, to clobber him, or to compete for him, or Aries reversed and Taurus reversed, aggressive or pursuing his attention, could be kids or debtors, right? People that you're in debt to, or Libra, Aries reversed and Taurus reversed may be racing to get to the Hermit reverse first to let them know something before the other one gets there. The block here for the twins is the Three of Swords upright, the separation and heartbreak, the temptation of the devil's wave, or going insane with bliss, which has to do with the energetic sexual connection. The Hermit reversed, suffering in silence or not sleeping, and the devil waving, now that the worst is over, seeking the bliss state. Virgo reversed and Capricorn upright, and physical activity comes up here, but even more so, financial discipline, following your dreams, and health to make sure you're doing well. In a twist of fate, new passion, burning the past, the Three of Cups reversed, dumping emotional attachments and foolish behavior, the fall and holding back a call or an announcement about being dumped, the Three of Cups reversed with unhappy family or emotionally unfulfilled, now with clarity of what's not working for them. The Knight of Cups reversed may feel rejected, moody, jealous, or insincere, and the Magician with a secret passion out in a split or divided with the King of Wands reversed, Aquarius reversed, or holding back an announcement, swallowing their pride, removing the mask with the twin flames, dumping all their burdens, their load, their responsibility, or confessing, going back downstairs, unable to see or see the light. The Emperor reversed, reaping rewards of the divine feminine's heart. Or retiring to downstairs, maybe someone's having issues getting up and downstairs, or a parent who needs a first floor bedroom. Disconnect or at a distance in separation of guarded King of Cups. Drop the ball and no longer with peace, without reason. Maybe they don't have an excuse for why they did things, or the Emperor reversed at night in uncomfortable energies with the Hermit reversed, holding on to Justice or Libra upright, lovers, and challenged by the Page of Wands, inspired by conflict and separation or competition, to extend ending a death of third party or negative group, jealous or rejected, twin flames, or choice to confess to the Emperor, and that's the Knight of Cups reversed. So this can also be a child who was trying to get their parents not to separate because they wanted them there. You know, they're trying to extend the end of this as long as possible, so it could have been a very long divorce, that kind of thing. But it definitely could have been because of children or family members interfering, trying to hold things up because they were benefiting from them being together, that kind of thing. So that kind of energy was coming up. So at 820, which is 8 of strength and courage and health, and the 20 of judgment and making a decision or the wake-up call, perhaps messed up or dropping the facade, Justice or Libra, awake or rising above uncomfortable feelings of lovers in the never-ending story, challenged by the Page of Wands, that excitement and childlike feeling, the Hermit reversed no longer reflecting conflict, competition, or fighting bad influences or partiers, the Divine Masculine's heart broken by a negative group or third-party rejection, and the twin flames confessing no reason or rhyme, or why the Emperor is reversed, out of control, abusing their power, or in ego death and stepping down, confessing to the Divine Feminine's heart. And that is your read. I don't think there was anything else I missed. Yeah, so that's it. So again, Om Namah Shivaya. We're going to pull a card from the energy deck. And then I'm going to pull a Scooby-Doo card for you. And we'll see if we have time for the Journey of Love. So I can't read the clock because there's too much white in the background. I think it says 54 and it's in the 20s. Is that right? Oh, it's so weird. The clock says 54. The regular clock was 54 and the clock on my iPad is 54. So 54 is important. 54 is the Page of Swords, the message. getting the message out, spreading the word. Okay. And that could be an announcement too, if that was 5420 when I first looked at it. It was just hard to tell. It was just 5454. Yeah, getting the message out is really important right now, you guys. So do what you can. Share my video, please, if you can. All right, so for everybody watching, for the best and highest good of all those concerned, what do we need to know? What do we need to learn? What's our takeaway from this reading today? Let's clear all negative energies across all dimensions of time, space, matter, and realities for the highest good of all those concerned, and fill that empty space with only beautiful divine love and diamond crystalline light, and so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Take another deep breath. So for all the twin flames, what is our takeaway from this read? Okay, here's some anxiety, the garden and the gate, the child afraid to leave the house. Okay, because of anxieties, of fear. And the two butterflies trying to lead them astray, or that's what they think they're doing anyway, but they really want them to just come out and play. This is the 30 of the 4 of Wands, which is the home, the union energy. It is reversed in this read. So it seems like she's finally coming out, no longer scared. So that's really beautiful. Blossoming abundance is also coming up here. She's going out to explore nature. And that's number 3 of the Empress. And the Empress is upright in this read. All right, someone's no longer afraid, because of course nature is your natural protection. This also can be the mother's loving arms. Okay. We're just kind of referencing, you know, my dream last night of saving the little boy. Hurting themselves, right? Because she's just, this upright is just her hurting herself by limiting her joy and her freedom. So this was upside, and then we have the temple path. So finding nature and abundance and getting back on path, which is beautiful. The temple path of the 12 of wisdom and seeing new perspectives. And of course the Garden of Prayer in Thomas Kincaid's painting always comes up when I see that picture. Then we have the 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel. We're talking about the crown, the pinnacle, the connection, the hair to the etheric realms. The 41 of the loving yourself first, of self-love, spiritual love, and new love, right? And she doesn't look very happy here, and there's no reason for that unless she's not following her true bliss, her authentic path. And this is about someone changing their path, like not doing what others expect of them, but following their own bliss, okay? And then the next card is the 38 of the Queen of Cups and the 4th chakra, the Archangel Raphael, which is physical healing, talking about going to the bathroom and all that, and sexual connection, because both of those are very physically healing. We have the, I think the Queen of Cups was reversed in this read, though. So there may be some heart stress going on just from the energies coming into the earth right now. So we talked about a heart attack too, which is probably just anxiety, because there's a lot of energy coming in right now. Big blasting going on. Okay, so the bottom of the deck is the thinking man. So it's the masculine discovering his mission or his abilities, working with crystals perhaps, or a feather in his cap. Maybe he's doing some writing or journaling. 46 is the children in the garden, knowing your inner self, your inner loving child, and connecting with your higher self, which is your twin. And that's coming up after seeing a larger perspective, stepping back from your world to see the larger perspective and the darkness and the light around the world, right? The contrast of the light and the dark. So how could you see either one? How could you see the dark without the light, and how could you see the light without the dark? The 29 of the being very present to the moment and learning what you truly love to do. That's the underlying energies. All right, and then this is the, these were the cards that came out for you. Okay, very loving cards here. Okay, we have the 30 of the union energy, the 3 of the abundance, Mother Nature and Gaia, the 12 of the hangman of the wisdom, the garden of prayer, you know, the pinnacle, the 7th chakra, the Archangel Uriel, self-love, and then the heart, the 38 of the Queen of Cups. So there's a lot of loving energy there. Let's see what Scooby-Doo has to say. All right, Scooby. As I just looked up, I saw the Christ figure with the children there in front of me, which I don't normally notice because it's in my face every day. So it's all about that loving, the Six of Cups energy, the loving children, the inner child loving each other by connecting with that Christ unity consciousness. Connecting with each other through the unity consciousness, through that Christ consciousness. All right, let's see what Scooby-Doo has to say. And when you have a question or you have an issue with the other one, to go to the higher realms. Like, don't take it out on the other person. Oh, look at that. I've never pulled this one before because I keep all the cards in there. The United States Playing Card Company. Let me see what it says. usplayingcard.com, access game rules for hundreds of card games. So it's saying access the etheric realms, access Jesus for the rules of the game, learn more about bicycle, 2 cycles. You're on 2 different cycles. The bee, right? The busy bees, the honey bees, and the nectar, being sweet. You catch more bees with honey. Then it says Hoyle and Aviator as well. Not sure about the Hoyle, but the Aviator, with the wings of the bat this morning, taking flight. Oh, they just reminded me, Hoyle. Shoot. Trying to remember the name that came up. One of the videos that came up on my feed this morning was how do you know, you're empathic, but it was like the pinnacle of the empath, which was I forget what it's called. It's an H word, like HEY something. Anyway, you can look it up. But it was the seven ways to know that you're that kind of empath, really empath. And one of the things that brought up was very interesting was that, extreme empaths constantly interrupt people. And I do that all the time because if I don't tell them, I'm going to forget what I'm going to say. So let me know if that is you, because that kind of cracked me up when they brought that up. But this Hoyle energy was bringing that up. So that has to do with being an empath, and then the Aviator taking flight, and other playing card brands. So there are other cycles and other families and other ways of doing things, right? Other communities. Research. Sorry about that. I just had some dolphin sounds on there. So research the history of playing cards, right? Research the history of the game, the rules, and your family lineage. Access a downloadable USPS product order form for strategy and rule books, games, and hard-to-find cards, and more. So it's again saying meditate and get that information from the etheric realms. At the end it says contact us and find out what's new, because there's always something new to learn. And then they have all the symbols of the spades, the diamond, the club, and the heart at the bottom. So the next card is the Queen of Hearts, but reversed, just like it came up in the other cards, the energy deck. So this is someone who's very pleased with themselves. You like me? I know you do. Right? But this is someone with a lack of confidence, perhaps, because they're not being true to themselves. They're not playing by the rules. You can't play the game unless you know what the rules are. Doesn't mean you can't break the rules sometimes, but you have to know what the rules are first, to just at least have a framework of what you're working with. And it's just talking about connecting more to the etheric realms. Don't give up in your pursuit of connection. Yes. By golly, I've got it. All right, this is the Three of Swords. So when in separation, just reconnect. And allow the rain, allow the tears to fall. It's all okay. I like to cry. Because then I know after I cry, I get my way. That's when I have those big epiphanies. And then I can extend myself again. Okay? So there's your message. The underlying energy is the Queen of Swords. Now she is in her truth. And she can say that. You like me? I think you do. Because she is ultimately in her truth and authenticity. Okay? So you want to be in your truth and your heart. But it looks like your heart is off balance right now. But you're in your truth. It's like learning what you love to do and what you love to learn, but maybe you just need a heart adjustment right now. There may be some wounds that still need to come up. So let's pull, since I know we're over an hour at this point anyway, right? Yeah, let's pull a journey of love card for you. Okay, guys. And I have some more signs to do today. Where am I? I think I left off on Pisces. So today we'll be doing at least Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. If they don't go too long, because they were really long this month. If they don't go too long, I can get a fourth one in. But don't count on that. But definitely Aries, Taurus, and Gemini will get done today. So let's see what the journey of love has for you. Journey of love. Okay. There we go. The lovers. Let's talk about sex. All right. So there's physical activity and making love coming up here for sure. And there's that Three of Swords. Love, Rain on Me, Roger Daltrey, and the Who. The Who? Who's on second? No, who's on first? One is the Magician. Two is the High Priestess. We have the communal dance here, right? Look at that. Oh, then Paul and Linda McCartney came up again. I love that. With the lovers, because they've been coming up all week with this card. We have 57 of the lovers and 5 of the Hierophant and the expansion and change. And then She Loves. Oh, it's making me cry. They're coming through. Linda, something in the way she moves. What are the words? He loves me like no other. So that song is coming up, and they're connecting with me really strong. This is Linda. Wow, thank you, Linda. Come together right now over me. Oh my gosh, Linda, thank you so much. There's a couple more cards that she's bringing out. Hold on. We have Knowing Without Knowing next, which is the love. Loving yourself first, self-love, spiritual love, and new love. Okay, this is very mustardy. This is the Queen of Pentacles, 66. And then Eruption of Light, coming into union. There's that sexual Hieros Gamos. And then the intimacy of the 35. And there they are again, coming into the vortex. Look. This card is like before this, like they're walking into the vortex, and here they are in the union. Guys, this is so beautiful. And from Linda and Paul. Thank you, Linda. This is beautiful. Wow. And how many cards came out? I think there's another card that wants to be seen too. All right, look. I'm so glad I did this deck. 57, the lovers. Right, Linda and Paul on the record, the communal dance around the world, the 5 of expansion, She Loves, right, something in the way she moves, 66 of the Queen of Pentacles, her more practical self, come together right now, we got to get this done. And then the 41 of the love and the 2D art. The 2D art. And that reminds me of John Lennon. Oh, why did John came up recently? Because John was one of the first people I connected with. And there's a John's Road in my neighborhood, so there's definitely a few times when I would look up and John Street would come up because John Lennon was trying to come through. But I'm getting Yoko art here, so Linda this may be an ode to her. Eruption of Light. Again, the Hieros Gamos of the 11 and the Justice, the 1111. And then the 35 of the Wounded Warrior and the intimacy of the Hieros Gamos union. And the Wounded Warrior surrender. It's so beautiful. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards here. And that's so funny because I was saying 8 days a week this morning. And here's the 8th card. Look, the 8th card is still sticking out here at the bottom of the deck. Wants to be seen. God speaks. The 33 of the Christ vibration. Wow, you guys. The Christ vibration, standing up for yourself, and God speaks. right? There's the essence that the Hieros Gamos connection back to God. It's literally saying, you know, you're doing me a favor. You're sending me your love. Whoa. So that's 7 cards and then 8 days a week. And then 7 is shifting universe, because we're on the 13th, which is the portal. 8's like the portal, right? The 8th day of the week. And 7, here's the 7 of the shifting universes. Look at all the music symbols. And the 3 to 1. 3 to 1, 3, 2, 1, jump at the Wheel of Fortune, right? Divine timing. Standing there waiting. There's another song coming up. Wait. This is after the fact, you know, like it's the afterglow, but there's 3 people there. It can represent the 3rd child or God standing with the twin couple. This is beautiful. And look at that, you know, all the symbols, the codes, the music of the spheres, the chakra, the shifting universes, right? The shift is happening. That's the underlying energy for you. After the jump, the quantum leap, look at that. 3, 2, 1, jump. This shifting universe, the quantum leap. And didn't leapfrog come up today? Look at that, it's beautiful. Are you guys getting, do you understand this feeling I'm getting here? Wow. And right before the 3, 2, 1 jump is the temple. It's like going from the ceremony, you know, to the party, the celebration, going within, you know, after the promise to each other. This is the ceremony, the shifting universe, the quantum leap, the leap of faith into love for the lovers, the communal dance, the coming together. She loves first, and then they come together. Something in the way she smiles, coming together, come together right now. So this song is for her at the wedding. This song is for him at the wedding. And then Yoko's going to be there too. And then the eruption of light of the Hieros Gamos, that's in private. And then they come together in the vortex with God, and God speaks. You can't make this up, you guys. Wow, wow, wow. I mean, how can I title that? You know, give me some suggestions, you guys. Gosh, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, Linda. Wow. It was just 2:12 on my clock, and now it's 1:12 on this clock. 12 is wisdom and that new perspective. And it just turned from 12 to 13, which is today's day, the portal. Oh boy. All right. Drink your water, get your rest, get your joy in, get your nature, rise and be love, you guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.